Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more congressional donors. Let's jump into this. Today we are doing Crenshaw through Cuellar. We start off with Dan Crenshaw. He is 36-year-old and represents the 2nd District of Texas. He is a Republican and is serving his first term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He graduated from Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts. He's been in the U.S. Navy. Thank you for your service. He graduated with a MPA from Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, before finally being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. His House committees are the Committee on Budget and the Committee on Homeland Security. Now let's look at his top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have NORPAC, a bipartisan multi-candidate political action committee working to strengthen the U.S.-Israel relationship, and they were founded in New Jersey. They donated $25,250. Next, we have Edgewood Management, an employee-owned, registered investment advisor in the public equity markets in the United States, and they are headquartered in New York City, New York. They donated $17,300. Next is Lodge Lumber, a company that offers pine, tree poles, saddles, composite material, pine cushion blocks, skids, shipping components, and hardwood timber products. They are headquartered in Houston, Texas, and they donated $16,600. Next is Geo Group, a Florida-based company specializing in privatized corrections, detention, and mental health treatment. It is based in Boca Raton, Florida, and they donated $15,300. The last group is Island Investments. Island, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But they are a privately held real estate investment manager focused on the multifamily sector. They are headquartered in Houston, Texas, and they donated $11,550. Now let's talk about his top 5 industry donors. At the top, retired, always good. They donated a total of $961,547. Next, Republican and conservative groups. They donated a total of $500,737. Next is real estate, which donated $362,998. Next is oil and gas, and they donated $251,852. And finally, securities and investment, which altogether donated $192,093. And once again, that was Dan Crenshaw. The next person we're going to talk about is Charlie Crist. He is 64-year-old, and he is serving the 13th District of Florida. He is a Democrat and serving his 2nd term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He attended Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, graduated with a BA from Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida, graduated with a JD from Cumberland School of Law in Birmingham, Alabama. He's been a private practice lawyer and been an unsuccessful candidate for Florida State Senate. He was a member of staff to U.S. Senator Connie Mack. He was a member of the Florida State Senate. He was Florida's Deputy Secretary of Business and Professional Regulation. He was the Florida State Education Commissioner. He was the Florida State Attorney General. He was governor of Florida. He had an unsuccessful candidacy for the U.S. Senate and unsuccessful candidacy for the governorship of Florida before finally being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, his House committees: the Committee on Appropriation and the Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. Now, let's talk about his top 5 individual donors. At the top, Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirits, the largest wine and spirits distributor in the United States. They are headquartered in Miami, Florida. They donated a total of $25,200. Next is L3 Harris Technologies, an American technology company, defense contractor, and information technology services provider that produces CGSIR systems and products, wireless equipment, tactical radios, avionics and electronic systems, night vision equipment, and both terrestrial and spaceborne antennas for use in government, defense, and commercial sectors. They are headquartered in Melbourne, Florida. They donated a total of $20,500. Next is Breakthrough Beverage Group. They are a wholesaler and distributor of beverages that offers its products to the retailer, bars, restaurants, and beverage businesses, and they are headquartered in New York City, New York. They donated a total of $120,000. Next is Morgan & Morgan, a law firm with multiple U.S. offices. They donated $19,600. And lastly is Tampa Bay Buccaneers, an American professional football team in Tampa Bay, Florida. They're owned by the Glazer family. I wonder if it's the same Glazers that owned his first donor, Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. They donated a total of $16,800. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top is lawyers and law firms, who altogether donated $209,262. Next is real estate, who altogether donated $119,756. Next is retired. Of course, that's good. They donated $115,382. Next is Democratic and Liberal groups, who altogether donated $105,150. And lastly is Securities and Investment, who altogether donated $95,435. And once again, that was Charlie Crist of Florida. Next person we're going to talk about is Jason Crow. He's 41 years old and he represents the 6th District of Colorado. He is a Democrat and he is serving his first term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He graduated with a BA from the University of Wisconsin in Madison, Wisconsin. Graduated with a JD from the University of Denver in Denver, Colorado. He was a member of the U.S. Army. Thank you for your service. He's been an adjunct professor, a lawyer, before finally being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, his House committees: the Committee on Armed Services and the Committee on Small Business. Let's talk about his top 5 individual donors. At the top is Holland and Hart, a law firm that provides legal services in a variety of practice areas, including banking and financial institutions, corporate finance, litigation, intellectual property, and real estate. And they are headquartered in Denver, Colorado. They donated $47,486. Next is Brownstein Hyatt et al. Brownstein Hyatt Farber Schreck is a lobbying and law firm headquartered in Denver, Colorado. They donated $31,295. Next is the University of Colorado. Pretty self-explanatory. They donated $25,602. Next is In Citizens United, a political action committee working to reverse the U.S. Supreme Court decision in Citizens United versus the Federal Exchange Commission. They are headquartered in Washington, D.C., and they donated $22,710. And last is the J Street PAC, which is the political action committee that supports J Street. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top, we have retired, which, as always, good. They donated a total of $364,342. Next is Democratic Liberal Groups, which altogether donated $273,121. Next is Lawyers and Law Firms, which altogether donated $272,522. Next is Leadership PACs, which altogether donated $147,001. And lastly is Real Estate, which altogether donated $129,667. And once again, that was Jason Crow of Colorado. Next person we're going to talk about is Ted Cruz. He's 49-year-old, and he is one of the senators from Texas. He is a Republican, and he is serving his second term in the U.S. Senate. He graduated with a BA from Princeton University, graduated with a JD from Harvard University. He was a law clerk to Chief Justice of the U.S. William Rehnquist. He was an Associate Deputy Attorney General for the U.S. Department of Justice. He was the Director of Office Policy Planning at the Federal Trade Commission. He was Solicitor General of Texas. He's been a lawyer before finally being elected to the U.S. Senate. Now, his Senate committees: the Committee on Foreign Relations, the Committee on the Judiciary, the Committee on Rules and Administration, Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, and the Joint Economic Committee. Now, his top 5 individual donors. At the top is Senate Conservatives Fund, a PAC that supports conservative Republicans for Senate, and they donated $276,588. Next is Club for Growth. They are a 501c conservative organization with an agenda focused on cutting taxes and other economic ideas. It has two political parts, an affiliated PAC named Club for Growth PAC and Club for Growth Action, an independent expenditure-only PAC. And they donated $234,832. Next is NORPAC, bipartisan, multi-candidate political action committee working to strengthen the U.S.-Israel relationship. They were founded in New Jersey. They donated $93,950. Next is Woodforest National Bank, a privately held bank headquartered in the Woodlands, Texas. And they donated $83,601. And finally, Lockheed Martin, an American global aerospace, defense, security, and advanced technologies company with worldwide interests. They are headquartered in North Bethesda, Maryland, and altogether they donated $68,011. Now his top 5 industry donors. And this is sick how much he gets. It's the most I've seen by far. At the top, retired, which of course is wonderful. Altogether, they donated $7,710,324. Next is Republican conservative groups, who altogether donated $3,950,073. Next is real estate, which altogether donated $1,625,252. Next is oil and gas, who altogether donated $1,319,188. And finally, lawyers and law firms, who altogether donated $1,161,197. And once again, that was Ted Cruz of Texas. Last person we're talking about today is Henry Cuellar. He is 64-year-old, and he represents the 28th District of Texas. He is a Democrat, and he is serving his 8th term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He graduated with an AA from Laredo Community College in Laredo, Texas, graduated with a BS from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., graduated with a JD from University of Texas in Austin, Texas, graduated with a MA from Texas A&M International University in Laredo, Texas, before finally graduating with a PhD from the University of Texas in Austin, Texas. He's been a private practice lawyer, was a member of the Texas State House of Representatives, had an unsuccessful candidacy for the United States House of Representatives before becoming Texas Secretary of State and then being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, his House committees is the Committee on Appropriations. Now, his top 5 individual donors. At the top, Geo Group, a Florida-based company specializing in privatized corrections, detention, and mental health treatment. It is based in Boca Raton, Florida, and they donated $36,700. You really need to get rid of them as a donor. Next is Duty Free Americas, the owner and operator of a chain of discount stores that offers apparels, watches, clothes, bags, goggles, jewelry, alcoholic beverages, and creams. And they are headquartered in Glenburn, Maryland. They donated $28,000. Next is Kansas City Southern, a transportation holding company with railroad investments in the U.S., Mexico, and Panama. They are headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri. They donated $17,549. Next is ConocoPhillips. Founded in 1875 and headquartered in Houston, Texas. It is the world's largest independent pure-play exploration and production company, and was ranked 95 on the Fortune 500 in 2018. They donated $15,000. And finally, Altria Group, one of the world's largest producers of tobacco as well as marketers. They are based in Enrico County, Virginia, and they donated $12,500. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top is oil and gas, who altogether donated $189,532. Next is lawyers and law firms, who altogether donated $104,388. Next is health professionals, who altogether donated $81,474. Next is miscellaneous business, who altogether donated $59,406. And finally, miscellaneous manufacturing and distributing, who altogether donated $58,600. And once again, that was Henry Cuellar, or Cuellar, I guess it would be since it's a Spanish name. Henry Cuellar of Texas. But that will be it. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to verify, their sources. Speaking of sources, I will try to have sources in the description. But, as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.